Alrighty guys, this is Dakota's h22A4. It came out of a 96 Honda Prelude. It's an OBD2 engine. But what we're having an issue with is when this engine was in a car, we had snapped the timing belt, and while we have our cam trigger sensor is kind of a little bit boogered up, we got to replace this whole wiring harness on it just because of the snap timing belt. All right, well, when it snapped the timing belt, we have a new sensor right here that we can put back on it, and we have the components to time the engine. We have a new head gasket here. We got all the cams and cam caps. We can show them the valves. We can look at all the valves under here, and we can see that we had a cylinder that was running a little rough there. But as you can see, there are no marks on the valves from hitting the pistons. So we're gonna take our chance and see if it's gonna work. As far as I can see, everything looks to be in order. The engine looks extremely healthy, so we're gonna turn it over for you so you can actually see the entire stroke. We got the bottom dead center right there. I mean, there's a little bit of residue down in here, but if you look at the walls, they're really clean walls. So we'll go to the next one here for you. We're gonna go all the way up. I mean, the cylinder walls on this engine look to be in great shape.
Getting a 360 all around in the cylinders so that way y'all can see it. Yes, we are going to clean off the pistons.
Alright, now we're going to set this engine to top dead center. Hold on. I might have to go around again. I want to see top dead. Right there.
Right there, guys.
Okay, so now we can continue with, we need to clean the head gasket surface. We'll just smear whatever oil's on it around.
Over here.
Do you have any Scotch-Brite, my Sir Dakota? Any kind of Scotch-Brite, sandpaper?
Yeah. Well, here,
fine grit.
Let me get something to wipe that off, like a paper towel or something.
Right there.
So that way we can fully go through and clean the surface.
That's why I spread the oil around. Honestly, it doesn't even look that bad. A slight scrub with the towel might actually just be enough to send it. Now this engine is gonna be modified. So, I mean, it's only gonna stay stock for so long. So we're just gonna put it together and see how it does.
That way we get the feel of it with it being stock, and then when we start building it, we can actually feel the difference. Which I know a lot of you are gonna be like, well, there's gonna be a big difference, but it's part of the build, it's part of the journey to be able to experience something like that. It's like self-accomplishment. Dude, really, these are fucking, this cleaned up real good.
Yeah.
Boom.
I honestly don't see any issue with it.
No.
I mean, it looks like it's had a head gasket or two in its day, but it still looks healthy.
Still want me to hit these piston heads?
I don't see no point in it. We can clean this one out though, if you want. The ratchet is right here. Here you go. They're not that bad. Those aren't. I want you to get most of that. This is what happens when an engine sits for a little while. I haven't had the money to be able to repair it, so my good friend Dakota here is gonna get himself an engine.
Thanks to this guy, he's really helping me out a lot with the motor. I've never had a twin cam before, and he's taking my twin cam virginity.
I mean, we got the little pee over there, a little twin cam.
That's been hurting some feelings lately.
Apparently, people can't even admit it.
Ah, fresh boy.
And believe it or not, whenever I bought the car that I took this out of, which one's up? Is there an up? I don't know. I think.
Yeah. We don't have any guide pins.
They're in the head. I guess we could have took those out, but it'll be alright. We'll set you over here on the bed of the truck and we will put this on. Now, just to show you guys, alright, right here we have all the information on the h22A1, how to do the cam caps there. We got the torque sequence right here. We'll be sure to follow that. It says 72 foot-pounds. And the cam caps are 16 foot-pounds. We already went ahead and
I'm just gonna get these
put
fingers
some
snug.
used oil in through here so we're not having metal on metal because it's been sitting for so long.
I do got a fresh oil if you want to go show them.
Yeah, we have a fresh oil change, but we're gonna fire it up with what oil we got just to hear it run, then we can do an oil change.
Well, I'm gonna do a better oil change. I got some cheap oil for now just for braking.
Well, there is no break-in. It's a used engine.
Well, I'm saying start and everything.
I mean, we can come in here and look at the exhaust valves. Can't really see the intake valves, and due that we didn't take off the intake manifold, but everything is here. Everything is here, and I don't see why this engine wouldn't run. This is honestly a budget fix because it was known to run before the timing belt that snapped. So
that crank sensor like
it's this is the only damage from it is the crank sensor. It's still a good bottom end. Like nothing in the bottom end could have been hurt. It's only the top end, and let's say we can't get it running or it's too low in compression, we may have to take the head back off and do some valves.
Which, that's fine.
That's fine because we have plans for that if that arises. But this is the 2.2 H series. the P13 head. Like I said, OBD2. We got some stock injectors in there. And eventually this won't even have this intake manifold. We're gonna put a different intake manifold on it once we get our ECUs in for both of the white car over here and for this monster.
Which is going in that beast.
As we previously mentioned in the last video, we did have an engine in it. There is an engine in it right now. And
still for sale.
As he said, it's still for sale.
And it would really help with this.
And it definitely would.
It would get this done.
Well, we got everything to get the engine squared away today.
Oh no, I'm saying like clutch, axles.
Like taking forever.
What the fuck you mean? Then get me a fucking ratchet.
You know what?
Then get me a ratchet.
Alrighty guys, now that we are done torquing down the head, which as I showed you in the last clip, says right there 72 foot-pounds, 100 nanometers. 3 steps, 29, 51, 72. We got the cam caps to go next. We can start installing our cams and our cam caps, which are down here. Exhaust. We're gonna have to go back through here with some RTV and get the corners for your valve cover gasket.
That's fine. Just a second. I mean, I'm holding this little $300 GoPro.
And this is exhaust. Oh. No, I ain't taking exhaust yet. I was right on it. Alrighty, now there's a way that you can tell that you have done this procedure right. Right here there's an intake 5 on it. And then there's a 3 on this one. You got this one. Then you got your cam caps. Those are all your cam caps. And there's also the intake 1 over here. And then there's your exhaust 5 over here as you go down towards the gears. Okay, progress report. We now have the cams all tightened down to 14 foot-pounds of torque. We have the cams facing up, as does the crank. Dakota here is putting his new crank sensor in.
Wish that's almost done.
And then we can start by timing this engine, which there is a hole right here of which you need a bolt to shove through this one because it's geared. This one lines straight up, or maybe straight over. I'll have to check the book, which we can because we have it. We have it right here. You got the balance shaft bolt. You'll need a 6x100 bolt to stick in there. And then you gotta align it to the groove to the left, not straight up. And that's a crucial point because your balance shafts cannot be off of time. So now what we're going to do is apply said steps. Alrighty guys, we finished up torquing the cam caps down to 14 foot-pounds. We got the timing belt on. It is not at top dead center right now, but trust me, it is in time. We have numerous checks.
We just did 6 different checks and spent 30 minutes making sure it was 100% on time.
Now we're having an issue to where we're gonna need a impact to get our nut off here,
to put our balance shaft and our pulley on.
To put our balance shaft pulley on there, and we'll have to put it back up to top dead center to do that and this at the same time. But we do have the belt. It's a tiny little thing and it's pretty simple. It just goes over both of those, kind of like in the demonstration. It goes under this. Yep. It'll go something like that right here. We're missing the balance shaft belt right there. Other than that, the engine is completely back together and ready to go. The head gasket's all torqued down. So we're gonna have to call it a night.
Yeah.
But we can at least throw the valve cover on there. Just
I'll grab that real quick.
Just to
give a little tease.
Tell you that it's almost done. Alright, we have the valve cover here. Go ahead and set it on there. Dual overhead cam, VTEC. Oh, there's a hose in our way.
Fucking hose.
Now we do have the front cover stuff as you've seen in the last video, but we don't have to put that on. We're not done in here yet. Here's our front cover. We'll have a mount that we'll have to put back on here, but I'm going to have to run home and find our mount that we're going to use for that.
Yeah, we also need to get another spring for tensioner.
Yes, very true. We're going to have to loosen up this bolt just a little bit and put some tension on this right here to help the balance shaft. There's 2 different pulleys here. There's the one in the back for the timing belt, and then there's the one in the front for the balance shaft. Other than that, she's timed. She's back together. Ready to go for another round, I guess.
Got good compression.
It seemed like it did have good compression. I'm pretty sure I have a distributor somewhere for this engine. The belt's nice and taut. There's not much play on either side of it. What do you think, Dakota? You excited?
You need to get the trans over here so that way we can split the trans. And
the transmission for this is at a buddy's house for now, but in due time we will have to open up the trans and go through the trans a little bit. It's locked out of 3rd and 4th. I'm almost positive that it is, but we'll dive into that in another episode.
But one step closer. Looking
this is
better. We do need to get another pressure switch for our VTEC solenoid.
And I'll have to find a thermostat for him, and I have a gasket for this that we can get. Everything looks good. Everything down here is not too dirty. Everything up front seems to be pretty clean. I mean, we didn't really clean much of everything down here whenever we were in here, but it will be okay. We can see that our head gasket squished nice.
I will be getting brake parts cleaner to go through and try to clean up as much as I can.
Gum out is a really good engine degreaser.
Well, gum out. Great parts cleaner. Whatever I get my hands on. Got fresh oil for her.
But assembly is done of the H22.
Last thing that we have left for us to be able to drop her in is the axles, half shaft,
Mounts.
then,
And well, we have the harness back in here.
Yes.
And the
Yeah, the
P13 ECU that came out of it. Well,
Everything for the HCUs is down here.
we have
Alternator, brackets.
we have the harness in here, which I'm pretty sure I robbed a plug off of it, which isn't very important. We'll have to fix that. That's for the knock sensor, which is this red and black wire right here.
Yeah.
Other than that, everything should be there, and we'll eventually
The one thing I do want to do though
go through
is
it.
once we get all that squared away, I want to hook all this up.
Yes, we're gonna hook it up before it goes in the car.
Because I don't. But
Well,
I might talk Brandon into schnazzing up this little cover right here.
you want to give them the information about that car that they haven't seen yet? Last time that I made a video about this car, I put the H23A VTEC into her, and it was an automatic for a while. I have a new valve cover gasket. It's been leaking for a little while. We're maintaining, but there's H23A in here. But as you can see, we don't have any solenoids over here anymore. We have a starter. I've recently went through, changed the coil, changed the distributor.
That was a big fucking hassle.
Oh, it was. And she's been running and driving great. As I told you, she's a 5-speed in there. And she's been doing good. 20,000 miles in the year that I have drove her. Now, I wish I could show you the valve cover in more depth. I have pictures of it that are pretty nice, but
She's got a flake into her.
she's got a few battle scars from me putting the transmission in. She does good though. She eats too. I do know
That C5 was shitty.
I do know that I'm gonna have to change up my throttle body whenever I get my ECU to a throttle body like what's on that H series over there, which I have extras of. She's a beaut.
Stay tuned. Like, subscribe, and
At 100 subscribers, we're gonna be doing a burnout with this engine.
yes.
If she runs.
Well, if we hit 100 subscribers, I promise you guys, I will slay a set of tires for you guys. And I might even talk this guy, getting the loot over there, into slaying a set too.
I mean, they're getting a little bald. I had brand new tires on it whenever I
No.
did the engine. But I'm talking about that one. That one might get a burnout too. But you gotta get us to 100 subscribers. If not, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, we have.
She doesn't need the abuse.
We have to hit 200 subscribers, and you heard it from him.
I said 100.
Well,
I'll do a burnout in that, and we'll
100,
get
100 subscribers, and we'll both do a burnout.
this dropped into that, and try to get a burnout done. Alrighty, guys. Like, comment, subscribe.